Wildlife explorers, and welcome aboard the Wild Asia Monorail. My name is Matthew. I'll be your driver and tour guide. For your own safety and the safety of others, please remain seated at all times with all body parts inside the train and off the rails. And refrain from eating, drinking, or smoking. Ready to take a ride on the wild side? Here in the Bronx Zoo, headquarters of the Wildlife Conservation Society, we're working hard to save wildlife and wild places around the world. Today I'm going to take you on a tour of Asia, with stops in China, India, Cambodia, Nepal, and Tibet, all without ever leaving the beautiful Bronx. We've just traveled 7,000 miles to the wilds of Asia, and we're looking for 2 deer species and an antelope species. The large honey-colored deer are called babirusa. The word babirusa means 12-tined in the Hindi language, as males will have 12 to 14 points on their antlers. Little deer with the white spots on them just coming down the road to the far left are axis deer. Axis deer keep their spots their entire adult lives. We've exhibited axis deer since 1899, and we're looking at lots of India's national bird, the peafowl. Generally the males are called peacocks, females are called peahens. They get together and make baby pea chicks. They have free roam of the Bronx Zoo. You'll see them everywhere today, not just here in Asia. These huts tell an important conservation story. Little deer that live in and around the huts are Indian muskjack, fully grown, 2 feet at the shoulders, also known as barking deer for the sound they make when excited, and they mark their territory with scent glands from behind their eyes.
Farmers in Indonesia live closely to wildlife. Look at we received WCS field staff, local leaders, and farmers in Indonesia to come up with the crop protection unit. This unit created many different ways for farming to continue in close proximity of wild animals. One strategy was to soak ropes in chili powder and place them around the crops. Elephants do not like chili and leave the farms alone, allowing the farmer and the animals to share the habitat peacefully.
We all know that an animal that's extinct is no longer with us, like the dinosaur and the dodo bird. The animals in our next exhibit were completely extinct in nature and could only be found in zoos. We're talking about the Mongolian wild horse, or Przewalski's horse. We have 9 horses on display today, so don't stop looking after you see the first 2. While there are genetic differences between wild horses and domestic horses, there are physical differences as well. They're shorter and stockier in build. They have an erect mane that's lacking the forelock, the piece of mane that falls between the eyes of a domestic horse. They're rocking the mohawk. They were born genetically awesome. Captive breeding of Mongolian wild horses began in 1901 with a herd of only 28 animals. The Bronx Zoo received our first herd in 1902, and we have maintained that herd ever since, with over 50 foals born right here in the Bronx, New York. We're happy to report that Mongolian wild horses are being reintroduced into the wilds of Mongolia and southern China from both North American and Asian zoos. We're now going to hear from Jonathan Slat, our Asian expert.
I'm Jonathan Slat, and I'm the Russia and Northeast Asia coordinator for the Wildlife Conservation Society. I believe that wildlife has a place in this earth. My job is to find practical solutions that allow people and wildlife to thrive together. Przewalski's horse went extinct in the wild in the 1960s. On a recent trip to Kazakhstan, I thought about the ongoing and successful efforts in that country to bring these horses back to the Central Asian steppe. The world needs happy stories, to watch the impossible become possible, and to see hope restored. That's what's happening today with Przewalski's horse.
As you can see, we give our animals lots of room to roam, as we're still in the Mongolian wild horse exhibit. But I'll be able to pinpoint most of the animals for you today, even if they're not necessarily in plain sight. It's not difficult to do if you'd like to try. Just put yourself in their hooves and figure out where you would go for a shady spot to rest or a little grazing time. When we reach the top of this hill, we'll be on the lookout for an endangered species known as the Gaur. That's G-A-U-R. No one laughs in July. That must be it. The Gaur are the world's largest wild cattle. Males stand 6 feet at the shoulder, 10 feet long, and weigh 2,000 pounds. With their incredible size and horns, a Gaur can take on anything, even a tiger. What threatens these beautiful creatures is lack of an Asian habitat and diseases they catch from domestic cattle. If the horns point straight up, it's a male. If they curve in at the top, it's a female. Most of the herd is female. Look sharp, we have 2 baby Gaur in the exhibit, 2 months old. They're the little light brown ones that look like dogs. They're right in the center of the herd right now. They're part of our species survival plan. Zoos across the country work together to create diverse populations of rare and endangered species. It's easy to forget sometimes that the Bronx Zoo sits in the heart of an urban setting. But shortly behind us, you're going to hear the roar from the concrete jungle known as the Bronx River Parkway. The large wooden fence in front of you obstructing your view is put there to keep back that traffic noise and help our animals feel more at home and calm. This is especially important since in the next exhibit, we're on the lookout for a tiger. Once again, please remain seated with all body parts inside the train. Tiger stripes are like fingerprints, no two are alike. That's how we tell our tigers apart. And they're solitary creatures and prefer to live alone. That's why you'll only see one at a time on display here at the Wild Asia Monorail. Top of the hill to the right, this is Josie. He's a 9-year-old, 450-pound Siberian or Amur tiger. In the wild, tigers will eat wild pig and deer. And pig he will. He'll eat 40 pounds of meat in one setting and then not eat again for 3 days. That's the equivalent of 160 hamburgers to you and I. If you ate 160 hamburgers, you wouldn't eat for 3 days either. With less than 3,000 tigers remaining in the wild and only 1,000 of them being breeding females, we're working with an organization called Panthera to increase this number. You can see more tigers by visiting Tiger Mountain, a short shuttle ride from the monorail.
WCS works with many species of tigers in the wild and at the zoo. Here is a note from one of our field scientists about his experience working with rangers to protect tigers in Indonesia.
Hi, my name is Paolo Alam. I'm helping the rangers at the National Park in doing their forest patrol. There was a time when we found some tigers that were in the jungle. But then we also found that some snares are installed inside the forest, which become threats to the animals. We dismantle the snares to make sure that the tigers are safe.
Here's another close-up look at the Gaur and the babies, top of the hill. See the babies, top of the hill right there? 2 months old. We're now at the back of our first meadow. Here's some more of those large honey-colored Vedasinga deer. Gonna be some right by the train with those impressive antlers. Roads in the wild mean danger as they bring predators, poachers, and divide up herds. Here at the Bronx Zoo, they help our zookeepers keep track of the 40 acres of this exhibit. Lots more peafowl. As we round this bend, we're going to be on the lookout for some pigs. Special pigs called babirusa. The word babirusa means pig deer in the Malay language. Tells the natives thought their tusks resembled deer antlers. coming into a bamboo thicket. We're looking for a male and female pair. In the first, to the right-hand side, we have Kiwi, our female, without the tusks. She's right here by the gate. Sit down, please. And we can't make out Fez, he's behind the tree back there. If you didn't see the babirusa, have no fear, you can't miss our next lovely lady, as we're going to visit with Patty, our Asian elephant. Once again, please remain seated and keep your voices down. When you're the world's largest land mammal, things bigger than you tend to freak you out. The first thing you notice about an elephant is her size. Patty weighs approximately 10,000 pounds. She eats fruits, vegetables, 200 pounds of hay, and 60 gallons of water each day. The elephant's trunk is an incredible tool with over 40,000 muscles in it. That's more than the entire human body. It's got a finger-like appendage at the end. With it, she can pick up an egg without breaking it, or tear it on a small tree with great force. And if you saw the Animal Planet show, The Zoo, you know that twice a week, she receives special baths and pedicures. As we say goodbye to Patty, we're going to be on the lookout for my favorite lady at the zoo, and that's Callie, our Indian rhino. And she's not in the wallow. Oh, she's all look straight back the road, just past the rock. Standing there in the sun, posing for us, is Callie. We'll probably get a better look from the other side. So as soon as everybody sees her from this angle, we're going to speed up a little bit. Look straight back past the rock. Many people describe a rhino's skin as armor-plated. It's actually very thin with lots of folds and needs protection from insect bites and the sun. To do this, she'll sit in a mud wallow, cover herself with mud, and this acts as a natural sunscreen and insect repellent. Let's speed up a little bit here and we'll slow down again when we get closer. With less than 2,000 rhinos remaining in the wilds of India and Nepal, we're very fortunate to care for 5 of these endangered creatures. Caring for rhinos is one thing, breeding's quite another. We're the luckiest zoo in the US of A. We've had 11 rhino births here at the Bronx Zoo. Our latest was in the summer of 2013. Hey, Callie, you gonna come down and say hi? Hey, beautiful, come on down. Callie tips the scales at a mere 3,000 pounds, but she can achieve speeds close to 40 miles per hour. Despite this fact, rhinos are endangered because of their horn, which in some cultures is said to have medicinal purposes. In the second half of the exhibit, you'll see the original mud wallow, put here in 1977 when the monorail first opened. More than 15 rhinos have contributed to the size and shape of that wallow. Look straight up the fence line as we exit. She's still standing right there deciding what she wants to do. Coming down? You coming down? Who's a good girl? As we enter the valley, we get very close to fences and trees. So once again, keep all camera parts, body parts, and anything you want to see later inside the train. Those large tan animals are Nilgai antelope. We'll get a better look at them when we get to the other side. You can actually see the tracks where we're going to be in about 2 minutes. Asia is a continent with the largest number of deer species, as well as deer diversity, as we'll see in this next and largest exhibit of the Wild Asia Monorail. Of course, the more room you give animals to roam, the harder you have to look for them. When we round this next bend on the top of the hill, you're going to get an excellent view of our North American oak trees. It would cost millions of dollars to recreate an Asian forest, but since most of our deer were born here in the US of A, they don't know the difference between an oak tree and an Asian tree. A leaf's a leaf. They provide an excellent source of food and shade, not to mention they're native New Yorkers. Center of the exhibit, you'll find a stream. To the right of that stream are those Nilgai antelope we talked about, as well as we're looking for some very large chocolate-colored deer. These are the sandbar deer, largest deer in southern Asia. Males stand 5.5 feet at the shoulder and weigh 650 pounds. They have 3 bars on each antler with 3 points on each bar. So they shouldn't be this hard to spot. There's a Nilgai antelope again. We told you we'd get closer. Nilgai antelope are the largest and fastest antelope in Asia. The word Nilgai means blue bull in the Hindi language, as males will have a blue-gray coat upon maturity. Top speed of a Nilgai antelope, 50 miles per hour. Top speed of the monorail, 7.5 downhill. Over there in the corner, looking like a large rabbit, is a China's tufted deer. These little elusive deer get their name from a tuft of hair on their head where their antlers would be. Males have long canine teeth. There's another one sitting right there by the fence. Males have long canine teeth that come past their mandible, making it look like they have fangs, and giving them the nickname vampire deer. Another one going to be up here on top of the hill between the trees. That, when excited, they will howl, whistle, and bark like a dog. They're extremely rare in zoos outside of China. We're lucky to have them. In fact, if you rode the monorail in July, we told you to come back in October. They decide when they come out and when they don't, and they love the cold weather. Deep through the trees, you'll see Patty again. Can't hide an elephant. Right there. We're now crossing back over the Bronx River. At over 23 miles long, this freshwater river is home to fish, ducks, turtles, geese, and migrating birds. WCS realizes how important it is to maintain the Bronx River and Greenway, both as a healthy environment for wildlife and for Bronx residents to enjoy. Once we successfully cross the river for the second time, we're in the rocky Himalayas, the perfect environment for mountain goats. The first are the markhor, national animal of Pakistan, largest member of the goat family, most identifiable by the male's impressive beards and spiral horns that can reach up to 5 feet in length. The word markhor means snake eater in Persian. Legend has it he ate a snake, and that's how it escaped. Just standing up for us is our alpha male with those 5-foot horns. They're incredible athletes. They can leap up to 6 feet in the air without a running start, and have been known to climb trees for food. Squirrels live everywhere. They're from North America and ruin the illusion. We don't talk about them. Now I do oh, there he is. He's finally out. As you pass this Y-shaped tree, look at the tree behind it just above eye level, and here's Linus, our red panda. The word panda means bamboo eater. That's how he gets his name. He's actually a relative of skunks, raccoons, and weasels. In Nepal, his name is Hunho, which means fire fox. And if you saw the movie Kung Fu Panda, Master Shifu was a red panda. The red panda was known to the Western world years before the black and white panda. The only thing they have in common is an insatiable appetite for bamboo. You can see more red pandas by visiting the Himalayan highlands, a short walk from the monorail. While there, be sure to check out our snow leopards, who are also loving this colder weather. As we wind our way down the hill, our tour is sadly coming to an end. But I'd like to tell you a little bit more about us. The Wildlife Conservation Society manages 5 parks in the New York City area. The Bronx Zoo, Central Park Zoo, Queens Zoo, Prospect Park Zoo, and the New York Aquarium on Coney Island. We also manage over 300 scientists in 60 countries throughout the world. We're working hard to save wildlife in wild places. You being here today helps us to do just that. And for that, we thank you. We're going to hear from one more scientist. Her name is Michelle. She's in charge of the first meadow we came to, which is now directly across the river from us.
Farmer.
The rhinos you...
Hi, my name is Michelle. I'm part of the Wild Asia Keeper team. We call this area Kanha Meadow, where we care for about 40 Barasinga deer, 15 axis deer, 10 black buck, and a pair of muntjac. We start our day by checking on all the animals, making sure they are healthy, behaving normally, and safe. Sometimes, fawns and calves are born overnight. Newborns are given a neonatal exam, which includes weighing, vaccination, and tagging for identification purposes. While the animals are in the meadow, we prepare their nighttime holding areas so that they have a safe and clean place to spend the night.
We're going to make one more brief stop. This is a train at the platform ahead of us. Please remain seated. We'll only be here for a short while. Also, please note that while the Bronx Zoo closes at 5:30 today, most live animal exhibits will close at 3:30 today due to daylight savings time. It's going to get dark quick. Got to get the animals in while we can see them. Brief 10-second stop. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On behalf of the Wildlife Conservation Society, my name is Matthew. I've been your driver and tour guide. I thank you for joining me aboard the Wild Asia Monorail. Our animals are always in different places doing different things, so come back and visit us next year, as this is the last day of the season for the monorail. Please remain seated until the train comes to complete and final stop and the doors have opened. Remember, there's a step up for people in the front row, step down for people in the back row. Please watch your step as you exit the monorail car. First 6 cars exit to your right. Lucky car 7 straight out the gate. Train's about to stop. Doors about to open. Only one thing left to do. Enjoy the rest of your day here at the Zoo.